In preparation for the upcoming season, I've been doing profiles on each one of the Magic players to get a better understanding of what they're likely to bring to the team this upcoming season. The last few have been on some of our newcomers, and we're going to continue that with one of our two rookies, Jase Richardson. This is the Orlando Magic Nation, your source for all things Orlando Magic on YouTube. For Magic fans, by a Magic fan. I'm Edwin Valentine, and I want to thank you very much for clicking on this video and spending a little bit of time talking Magic with me. You got to do the normal YouTube thing, so share this video, hit that like, drop a comment below on what you're expecting this year from Jase. And if you're one to do so, hit that subscribe so that you don't miss out on any content that I produce, as well as becoming part of the Orlando Magic Nation community. If you're new to the player profiles, basically what I'm doing is I'm trying to scout the players. So I go a little bit over their intel so we have a better understanding on who they are and what they've been through before coming to the team. Then I go over their stats from last year. And finally, I go over the film just to make sure that what the stats are telling us are accurate. Now, with our two rookies, we don't have the same standard of stats that we do from websites like Cleaning the Glass or the MEA.com website. So you're going to see the stats are going to look just a little bit different, but hopefully they are as accurate. So now we're going to start off with some intel on Jase. It's Jase Richardson, son of former Magic player Jason Richardson. Position is shooting guard, shoots with his left hand predominantly. And it says he's 6'3", but as we know, he measured out at 6 foot without shoes in the combines. He was born in Berkeley, California on October 16th, 2005. He followed his father and went to Michigan State University and played with the Spartans last season in the 2024-2025 season. In his 36 games in Michigan State, he averaged 12 points, 3 rebounds, 2 assists, and 1 stock per game. And with the 25th pick of the 2025 NBA draft, the Orlando Magic selected Jase Richardson. So if we go a little bit deeper and look at his advanced stats, he had a box plus minus of 10, a true shooting percentage of 62.4, and he had a net rating when he was playing, when he was on the court, of plus 17.5. If you've been watching these player profiles, you'll see that a lot of the Magic players, unfortunately, were in negative numbers just because our offense wasn't up to par. Now, if we move on into some more advanced stats, we can see that he had a 20.1% usage rate, which started to climb throughout the season because at the beginning of last season, he was coming off the bench, and gradually over the course of the season, he started to get more playing time. So we see, if we look at these other numbers, he had an effective field goal percentage. His personal effective field goal percentage was at 57.4%. His turnover percentage was only at 9.2%. His free throw rate was about 42%. His three-point percentage at 41.2%. Obviously, it was a very good percentage, especially in college. As well as his 2-point percentage was okay. From mid-range was all right as well. But at the rim, even especially for his size, he actually shot a very high percentage. A little bit more into the team efficiency and 4 factors. As I've mentioned in my previous player profiles, the basketball is very difficult to play. You got to be very tall. You got to have very good hand-eye coordination. You have to have good agility and be very athletic. But when it comes to the stats, you can really break it down into 4 factors. What kind of shots are you getting? Hopefully you're getting good quality shots. That's what the effective field goal percentage is trying to find. Do you turn the ball over if you're giving away possession or not? If you're able to control the rebounding, you're most focused on offensive rebounding because then that means that you continue to have possession until you make the shot. And lastly, if you're getting to the free throw line, that's 4 factors. But obviously, you're looking at them in offense and defense, so it ends up being 8 factors overall. Now, these stats are for the entire team. They're not his individual stats. They're just really the impact that he has on the team efficiency and the 4 factors. Looking here at the 4 factors for him while in college, the effective field goal percentage while he was on the court was 51.2%. which was in the 54th percentile. The turnover percentage was better when he was on the court. It was 15.8% in the 76th percentile. And the offensive rebounding percentage was at 34.8%. And they were able to get to the line when he was on the court at 38.4%, which is in the 86th percentile. On the defensive end, the effective field goal percentage while he was on the court was 48.9%. The defensive turnover percentage was 15.8%. The defensive rebounding percentage was at 75.4%, and the free throw rate was at 33.2%. To continue to dig into some of the stats, we see that his pick and rolls as the ball handler, he was in the 95th percentile at 1.1 points per possession. And his transition at 1.3 is in the 86th percentile. His catch and shoot points per possession was 1.34 in the 95th percentile. We'll see that in the film for sure. The dribble jumpers, he was in the 72nd percentile at 0.92 and finishing at the rim 1.38. Now, if we look at how he scored, now as we see, he shot about 25% of his shots from the rim, about 37% from mid-range, and 38% from three. His jumper is going to be the reason why he's going to be able to get on the court, because it's definitely something that we've been desperately needing. Now, if we look at the shot chart, we see that his highest effective field goal percentage was shooting from the right side of the basket, which is at 79%. He shot 65% from above the break, also on that right side. Basically, as we go around from the top of the key, at 46%, 50% over on the left side above the break, and from the left corner, 64% effective field goal. As we see, plenty of shots from the outside. And again, that's something that we've been desperately needing for years at this point. And even though we brought in somebody like Kentavious Caldwell-Pope, unfortunately, that one didn't work out as well as we had hoped. So now we've brought in Desmond and we've brought in Tyus, and now we've drafted Jase. That right there is hopefully going to be able to expand the court, and hopefully we'll be able to start shooting more threes and making more threes, which is going to make life easier for Paolo and Franz to be able to have room to maneuver. Now let's go over the film for Jase, his season last year. His highest effective field goal percentage was from that right side here, so that's where we're going to start off. Catch and shoot, as we saw as well, is something that he excelled at. And I think that's something that he really should focus on this year. We have plenty of ball handlers, so he doesn't have to be a primary ball handler. He doesn't have to have the ball in his hands to be able to succeed on this team. Just being the person to catch the ball when you're wide open, catching and shooting, and hitting that three is going to be a huge impact for this team. So even on this one where he was tripped by the referee accidentally, he comes up kind of lame, limping. Maybe that's where he had his injury, and he's able to hit that. So even when he's under duress and even when he's stressed, and he's still able to focus, jump, and hit that three-pointer. So that's a very good sign. He has such great feel. And I think that's the exciting thing as well. He knows where to reposition himself. Being a little guy, he's always going to need a little bit of space to be able to get his shot off. And you can see his relocating, his getting into spots is key for him to be able to get nice wide open shots. Shooting the ball, obviously, with the mechanics that you need and the repetition and be able to have the same motion over and over again is very important. But a lot of the time, the percentage of your 3-point shots, and whether it's high or low, comes to how you're getting shots or what kind of shots you're getting. If you're getting the ball with 2 seconds left in the shot clock and you have to rush it, obviously your field goal percentage is going to be much less than if you have time, if your feet are set, and you're able to shoot it. So as we see, his percentage was pretty high, and a lot of the times that was because he was open or he got to a space. He moved to a space where there weren't any defenders going to be near him to be able to alter or block his shot. So that's going to be something that he needs to continue in the NBA, because obviously the athletes that we have in the NBA are different than in college. So he's going to definitely need to always stay in space. They're likely going to have to set different screens for him, probably a bunch of zooms. He's going to have to come in and do that a lot just to be able to really get open. But once he's open, we see that he's deadly from three. So that's going to be something that I hope the Magic really start to incorporate if Jase is going to have to play a lot. And we see even when there's a guy in his face, he still can rise up with that wingspan, even though he's a little bit shorter. He has nice long arms that he'd be able to get the shot off. You see, he relocates well, he moves well without the basketball. There wasn't as much movement with the Magic system last year, that hopefully that's going to change this year. So here again, little down screens there. Now, what he needs to improve on are these type of shots, just right off the dribble. It's something that he's hasn't been or wasn't as comfortable last year. His percentage off the dribble was only at about 29% for the season. So that's going to be something that hopefully he works on this upcoming season while with the club. So here you see a little bit of a screen, gets the ball, and as long as he has a little bit of daylight, that's really all he needs. But here, these tough shots that he's going to be able to hit are great. But as we see, if you have a good defender who's going to move his feet, it's going to be difficult for him to get that shot off. Now he's shifty. He's always been a little guy, so he knows how to get open and create space. But if there's a good enough defender that's moving their feet, he still can hit it, obviously, as we see there, but it's always going to be a little more difficult. We want him to have nice, easy shots so he can hit him. Now, I think that's going to be something that he will have on the Magic again, just because the fourth best defender is going to be on him. They're going to be trying to hide guys on him likely, and if he comes off screens and makes them pay, which is something that the Magic should again be trying to target, just have him come off these curls so that he makes the team that hopes to be hiding their worst defender on him, they're just going to be able to make him pay on that. So now this is from the mid range again, coming off curls. Anything off the dribble is just going to be a bit more difficult for him. So making sure that you set good picks are going to be helpful for him. But he has a wide range of different moves to be able to little fadeaways as we see there to create separation. So he's able to get his shot off. That doesn't always work out. So here again, it's always going to be shifty. But if the defender is going to be able to move his feet and stay connected, then he's gonna have tougher shots like these, which again he's able to hit hard shots. Again, being a little guy, that's just kind of your reality when you're playing basketball. You got to continue to move your feet, and you have to be shifty to make sure that you're getting your shot off and it's not going to get blocked. That's going to be the part. Again, he has good shot, like he has good handle, which is a great thing to see. It's just not elite handle. So hopefully Coach Shamgod is going to be able to get him in the gym and really work on those handles to be able to be more pliable when it comes to the different types of moves he's going to make. Because if a couple of these moves that you're going to see coming up when a defender actually is on him, it's going to be nice for him to be able to start going more right and keeping the defenses guessing. Because while again you'll see a couple moves here that he actually does a really good job of creating separation, but with the athletes that are in the NBA, they're going to be able to either read that or they're going to be able to make sure that they're moving their feet enough to alter his shot or make it much more difficult for him. Hopefully he's able to hit them as he did in college. So here, a good defender there. He does a good job. Again, this is that move that we saw earlier, but with a guy with length, they can kind of know what he's going to be doing. So he'd either have to do a double move there to you do one pivot to come back, but then have to come back towards the defender, and the defender likely would foul him at that point. So that's what I mean. He's going to have to be even more creative when he's in the NBA, just because of his stature and what he's going to need to do to create separation. He's going to also, like I said, he's going to have to work on going right. He primarily goes left, which is his dominant hand. It makes total sense. And it's something that's worked for him so far. But now being in the NBA, he's going to have to do a better job of driving right. Attacking the closeout is something that, because of his high shooting percentage, is going to be something that he needs to do well. And you see, he's just driving baseline, which is what I've talked about in a bunch of the different guys' player profiles, that they need to hit more from the corners to open these type of shots up. As you see, he can finish. He can finish over size, which is the only way he's going to be able to succeed in the NBA. Because while shooting is going to be his calling card, he still needs to be able to keep them honest, especially when they don't close out super hard and they kind of soft close out. He needs to be able to attack it and be decisive, because that's going to be the other difficulty for him as a point guard. If he's going to play point, is decision making. Right now, it's pretty basic, which is, again, what he needed to do in college. But to be a pro, he's going to need to be able to see the floor better and be able to anticipate better. In media day, he mentioned that he's been with Tyus a lot and just asking questions and making sure that he's learning as much as possible from him. And I think that's going to be Tyus's main contribution to the Magic. Obviously, we need his three-point shooting. Again, we need to be able to shoot threes better, as well as having a true point guard on the court for the first time in a couple of years. I think is going to be the big contribution that we're going to see on the court. But the seeds that he's planting in Jase is really going to hopefully blossom in the next few years for the Magic, because Tyus likely won't be around because the team is going to get pretty expensive. And unless he's going to start wanting to take veteran minimums, I doubt he's going to be with the Magic very long. But all that he puts into Jase, and if Jase is asking him a lot of questions, then Jase is going to be around for a few seasons, just because he's a rookie on the rookie deal. So that's something that we need to really hit. We really need Jase to be productive. Maybe not this season, but definitely in the next future season. So hopefully that's something that he can improve on, because right now his court vision is not horrible. It's pretty good. It's good for college, but he needs to be better at it for the NBA now. So driving those closeouts, making quick decisions, that's very important. And that's something that he can make it. He can keep it simple when he first gets into the NBA, but over the course of this season, hopefully it starts to slow down. It starts to widen a bit, and he's able to see the court a little bit more clearly. So here again, he's able to finish. He doesn't always go up against the size. He's able to, again, I say shifty. He's able to still get his way. Here he is trying to create separation with his quick dribbles. He's a strong dribbler, but it's not elite. See how he has to create space. And again, he hits really difficult shots, which is a testament to him. But this is where he needs to start finishing with his right hand. I talk about it a lot with Franz when I was breaking down his Eurobasket games, was finishing with his left when he's on the left. Now, as you saw there, Jace was on the right, but instead of finishing with his right, he tried to finish with his left. And the shot is just so much more difficult. If he's able to start incorporating shooting with his right when he's on the right side of the basket a little more, that takes the defender out as much as possible. Of course, sometimes the defender is still going to block your shot, but it still gives it less of a chance of just getting blocked by the defender. So here again, he's on the right side, shoots with his left. Again, here on the right side, goes up and under, makes a shot way more difficult for himself. And again, most things are going to be difficult for him just because he's a bit smaller. So now in this set of plays, we're going to see how because he does go up against the bigs so often and finishes over them, that he's able to then start to suck them in and be able to make passes for his teammates. So here's a nice cut and nice dump off. Another cut, gets a nice easy basket for his big man. Here, pick and roll. Again, he can make simple reads. He's a good passer. He's pretty unselfish as well. Even if you look at his assist percentage, he still is a willing passer. His role was just a little bit different with Michigan State. With the Magic, he's not going to need to be the primary ball handler. His role in the Magic is going to be more about shooting. So again, he may not have that many assists. As we see, he has pretty good court vision. And there were plays like that. They're really small, but for him to continue to dribble the ball when he gets blitzed by a bigger guy, because a lot of times ball handlers will pick up the ball and at that point they put themselves in trouble. But even though it's something super small, something super simple, him continuing to dribble while he gets blitzed and he has two guys on him and still reverse the ball is going to be something that is going to see a lot of in the NBA, especially if he ends up playing in the playoffs. A lot of the being picked on because he's small and all of that on defense, that's going to be something that's not going to happen as much in the regular season, but definitely if he starts to play, maybe not even this season in the playoffs, but next season in the playoffs, if he's one of our primary bench players, it is going to be something that he's going to have to work through. So again, he's able to spray the ball out. As I mentioned, very unselfish. So even if he's open, he still passes the ball out to his teammates. It's a nice pass there with his left. That would probably have been an easier one if he did it with his right. So nice drive, hitting the paint, spray the ball out. Nice easy shot for them. Now this is going to be the part that it's going to be a challenge for him just in general because he is smaller. That is just the reality of the situation. They're going to post him up again, mostly in the playoffs. It might happen in the regular season, especially if it's an important game and a team really needs to score and they're going to punish him as much as possible on defense because hopefully he's punishing them on offense by hitting open threes. You're going to see this a lot. There's going to be a lot of posting him up. They're going to throw over the top. That is just going to be the reality of the situation. He does a pretty good job of moving his feet. But again, he's just a small guy. I know small. I'm a short guy myself. So it's just the way it is. Luckily, he's not too slight of build. That hopefully once he starts to gain a little bit more muscle, he'll be able to hold up a little bit better, a little more like Corey Joseph did last year, even though he was Corey's a bit older and a little bit more slow or not as fast as he used to be. I think that's going to be something that Jase, especially when he tries to do help defense like this, he's in the right position, right? He goes, he sees what's happening. He's on the backside to help, but he just can't do anything against the big in that position because he's smaller. Same thing again here. He comes over, does what he's supposed to do. It's just not much for him to do there. Now, what he can do is you see he's in the next bit of film, he basically does a good job of getting in the passing lanes as well as using some of his athleticism to be able to block some shots as well. Because again, he has very long arms. So here, that's what he's doing. He's able to get in the passing lanes, use his quick hands as well. Anticipating, that's one. Here's another. Anticipating the ball over the top. He's able to come from behind, get that ball. There's also, again, long arms. Stay down. That's going to be something that with the Magic, they're going to definitely be drilling that into him. That, of course, we need the offense. He can't lose the offense. But to be in the right spots, that's really all that matters. And even if the guy is going to shoot over you and it is what it is, him being in that spot, hopefully or possibly, would be able to deter the guy, or the guy's like, oh, there's somebody here, and he might shoot the shot a little bit sooner, and we luck out and get a stop from it, even though we're at a mismatch there. So him sitting, him playing defense, which is something that Michigan State prides themselves on, as you saw. The defensive rating while he was on the court with Michigan State was under 100. So that in the end, it shows that even while he's on the court and he is a bit smaller, he still is able to have a contribution to a good defense. So him digging down from the corners and him putting in that work. There you go. Stay in front. That's it. Move your feet and stay in front. That's something that he needs to continue to do. It's going to be something that he's going to get faster. He's still young. He's about to turn 20 years old. That once they get him into the system, especially being with Tyus, because Tyus is also a smaller guard. He's even more slight, I feel, than Jase is. So him being able to contribute to defenses as even while being smaller is going to be something that hopefully Tyus is going to be able to take him under his wing and help him out with that. So here's him using some of his athleticism to still be able to block the shot. You see on this one, he's a little out of position on that one, but with that wingspan, he's able to recover and get the block. Here's another one. Tried to back him down. He did the work there. This one, again, he's doing a good job of moving his feet and really blocking that one. Get that out of here. So, and that's a little bit about Jase Richardson. This year, I see Jase spending most of his time at the end of the bench. Hopefully, he's going to be tied to Tyus this entire season and making sure that he's learning and absorbing as much as possible. As I mentioned before, I don't really think Tyus is going to be on the team very long. I hope he's able to stay for another few years, but just financially with where the Magic are going to be and how Tyus likely sees himself, I don't know if he's going to want to be a veteran minimum guy again. He already did that last year with Phoenix. I think he's going to be looking for a better financial situation for himself. So likely we're going to need him to impart all his wisdom onto Jase and have him move forward as our backup point guard of the future. Now, at the moment, from what all we're hearing, it doesn't seem that Jalen Suggs is currently 100%. So maybe Jalen's not going to be able to start the season. And with the way Jamal Mosley has organized his rotations, if he's going to have Tyus coming off the bench all season, which I think they're going to, Tyus would stay as the backup, and they might put the third stringer, which would be Jase, into the starting lineup. So having him start the season as the starting point guard for a team that's hoping to get to the NBA Finals feels a little bit of a stretch and might be throwing him into the deep end a little too much. But because he doesn't have to necessarily be the point guard, he can just be a spot up shooter. Maybe that'll be why we put him in that position so that he can keep the floor wide open with Desmond and him out on the court, both of them over 40% shooters, at least Jase was 40% in college, so hopefully that translates to the NBA. So maybe he ends up starting at least for a little bit, but for the most part this season, I think he's going to be a third stringer. He's going to be more just absorbing from Tyus as much as possible and then continuing to develop throughout this year. And hopefully we don't need him too often. Obviously, we are going to have some injuries along the way. And anytime he does get to play, hopefully the three-point shooting will translate from his time at Michigan State to Orlando. So let me know what you think. Drop a comment below. Let me know what you think Jase's role is going to be this year. And if you think it's going to be a big one, how do you think he's going to fare? So you got to do the normal YouTube things. Hit that like, share the video, drop that comment below, like I mentioned. And if you're one to do so, hit that subscribe so you don't miss out on any content and join the Orlando Magic Nation community. I want to thank you very much for watching this video and spending a little bit of time talking Magic with me. I hope you're having a great day.